Hey everyone, Pooja Chilukuri with Pooja Chilukuri Nutrition and Health, and also your host for the Wellness Education Series Be Made Whole. I'm really excited about my guest today because I've gotten to know Sharon and I am so happy to call her friend as well as a colleague. And Sharon is here today with us and she's going to share some things with us that I believe is going to be very helpful. Sharon is a certified life coach with the International Coach Federation for over 12 years. Sharon was voted a top life coach in Raleigh, North Carolina for the years 2017, 18, and 19 by Expertise. She is also a certified mindfulness teacher by the University of California, Berkeley's Greater Good Science Center, and a member of the International Mindfulness Teachers Association. Sharon helps women in midlife who are navigating personal and professional transitions. As a businesswoman, Sharon has decades of experience working for Fortune 100 companies, and most recently, she served as vice president of a global software company for 12 years. Sharon is the founder of the Listen to Your Life Meetup, where she offers both virtual and live opportunities for people of all backgrounds to come together in a safe place to share teachings, insights, and tools that support a life that feels good more often than not. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you, Pooja. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm so happy I get to talk to you this morning.
Yeah, me too.
Actually, I am curious and I am excited to ask you, you were vice president of the last company that you were at in 12 years. I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I'm curious and I would love to, if you would share with us your journey from that and then you switched to coaching and women in midlife.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like for you and how and why did you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in corporate for over 30 years. I started in New York as working for Chase Manhattan Bank in Manhattan. And, I towed the corporate line for so many years. And then I eventually joined this last company, which was a software company called Intrinsic. And it was a small, family-owned, anti-corporate culture. I loved it there. I literally loved everybody. I still do. I love everybody there. I was able to actually make an impact and do work I love because I love finding the win-win. I love marketing. I think marketing can really be used for good, to share what you have to offer that's of value to other people. So I love doing that. But I was also doing my coaching part-time. And I loved that as well. And over time, I realized that the coaching was becoming so much more important for me. Like I really felt energized and I felt that that was my work in the world. And even though I enjoyed working for this company, it became really obvious that I needed to really jump in with both feet to do the coaching. But I jumped in kind of with a toe because I went to my CEO 2 years before I left, and we talked about me going part-time so that I could focus more time on my coaching. And that just made it more obvious that it was time for me to make the change. And really, it was just listening to this pull.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't being pushed anywhere. I was being pulled towards something. And it was just time for me to really listen to it. And I didn't quite know, what that would look like, or it was really risky because I'd never not had a paycheck and all the things, but I had put some things in place in the last few years, paying off debt and doing all the things so that I could make this decision. And it's been the best, I left in January. So some say the timing was probably awful because of the virus, but some say the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
And I choose to think the timing was perfect because it gave me an opportunity to really get to know more people via Zoom than I would have gotten to know just by working face to face.
And I feel like, I'm on the timing is perfect side of things because I think that also a lot of people are paying attention now to their emotional and spiritual needs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more need I see for coaches that are doing it like in a dedicated manner, helping people. And as long as I've known you, Sharon, which has only been a few months, but I really love what you do. And I can sense that you have a real burden really important to work with women. And
Yeah.
you do this, you help women transitioning in midlife. Can you tell
Yeah.
us a little bit more about what
Yeah.
that's like? And yeah.
I have I'm 53, so I'm smack dab in the middle, I think, of midlife. And this has been just the best time of my life. I think and it just happens to be most of the women that I've been working with over the past 10 plus years. And I think it's a time, particularly for women, when we really start to think about, what we want for our lives, what's most important to us, unmarbled from all the expectations and all the roles and responsibilities that we have. But it's oftentimes we don't take the time to question what is working for me, what is not working for me. And I think when women feel empowered, and when we feel grounded, and when we feel confident and clear, then I think we have such a tremendous impact on the planet. Because of all these different roles that we have such influence on so many different people, so many different systems, right? So many different communities, that if we can really stand in our own power and move from that space, I think it'll change the world. And I think the world needs women who are stepping into their power more now than ever before. So like the things that you're doing to help with the wellness and well-being is critical. I work a lot with mindset, because it usually starts there, how we're thinking, what stories we're telling ourselves, the narratives that we give our attention to.
Yes.
So I do a lot of mindset work, but it's all so important. And I work with men as well. But the majority have been women in this sweet spot. So it's like the late 30s to like late 60s.
I think that's when, and I certainly don't speak for everybody, because everybody's journey is different, but that's the age group where transitions are happening very fast, and it's
Yes,
overwhelming.
absolutely.
And again, I don't want to be feeding into a stereotype, but I was raised and trained to be more mindful of what other people need. Like, and this is no fault of my parents. It's just the way it was, that women were more trained to be in tune to others' needs and expectations. So, finally, when your children are leaving home and you have this time, sometimes we don't know who we are and what we want, because we've been living to, meet everybody else's needs. So
and that's it. I work with a lot of empty nesters, and because it's like, now what?
What do I do now?
What do I do now? Right, exactly.
My whole life to, take care of my kids, my house, my job. Even if we have jobs, right? It doesn't matter. We have that space now to think a little bit for ourselves, and you help us do that. Can you what works, Sharon? Like, can you help us maybe just one tool or something that you use when you're helping people navigate that time? Is there something that works that we can think about practicing for ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a certified mindfulness teacher, so mindfulness is a big part of my own personal practice, as well as what I share with those who I work with. And the reason I do is because, yes, we talk a lot about, how do you cultivate a mindset that is serving you? How do you set goals, set intentions, and take actions and have rituals? All those things are they're not new information. You can Google 5 steps to change your mindset. All the information is there, but the missing piece I've found has been establishing a mindfulness practice. Because if you're not paying attention to your life, if you're not noticing, oh, this doesn't feel right, or oh, I'm having this experience, I'm having this emotion, what do I need? Or, what should I, am I even enjoying life? And I'm looking outside the window and the leaves and the sun is shining, and how could I miss that? It's like watching the best movie and being on your phone the whole time.
Oh my goodness, I love that analogy.
Right. And we're doing that all the time. And the point is to actually enjoy the movie. So mindfulness is really a practice that strengthens our ability to be present to our life. And when we're present to our life, not only can we enjoy how it's unfolding, but we can notice the choice points so that we're not like going a whole week being anxious and not figuring out why we're anxious. You know, we can say, oh, you can notice, oh, I'm feeling anxious. Oh, my stomach is, you know, jumping, or my chest is tight. What is that about? Like, what do I need? What am I thinking? What do I need? How do I take care of myself? Instead of waiting a whole week and then you've reacted from this space of anxiety. So mindfulness practice, I think, is like the glue. It's like it's the fuel that enables all of any kind of self-inquiry or personal development, or really feeling like we all want to feel. I think that we're enjoying life.
Yes. And I think I hear you, Sharon, because I think a lot of times we go about our day with just status quo. Get so used to sometimes not feeling good that becomes normal.
Yes.
We're not
Yes.
thinking, you know, and I think a lot of people are confused about what mindfulness is.
Yeah.
I've heard all kinds of things, you know, people think you have to empty your brain and have no thoughts, you know, meditation and mindfulness, a lot of people are getting it, but a
Yeah.
lot of people still think it's hard, like it's something where you have to fit and practice emptying out your brain, which is
Like,
impossible.
oh, right. You'll just get a headache. I remember when I first started learning meditation 15 years ago, it was a different type of practice. It was TM. But the way I interpreted the way my teacher was teaching it was that I was supposed to somehow stop my thinking. And that literally only gave me a headache.
Yeah.
And then I realized over time, I'm like, what? That's not the point. For me, that practice didn't work. It's not about trying to control my thoughts, because it's impossible. Our thoughts fly in from all over the place.
Yes.
It's about how can we just be present with ourselves in this really gentle, compassionate way, and just be more curious than anything else. And then just notice, you know, what is it that we need? What information is here for me to learn? How can I make the next skillful action?
And not attaching shame or judgment to our own thoughts, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the hardest piece. And for any transformation, I think that's a great tool, mindfulness, because unless we're aware and paying attention, we don't know what's not working. And we keep doing the same things that are not working, right?
Right. And to your point, Pooja, you do that long enough and then you just become used to it. It's kind of like, this is just how my life is. And you kind of get accustomed to the dullness of it, you know, and sometimes it'll take something that shakes you up and says, oh, I got to do something. But my invitation is, don't wait for that. There's a way to actually live into this life where you can really feel like you're thriving regardless of what's happening. But it takes practice. And mindfulness is one of the practices that can really be super helpful.
Yes. And I think like working with someone like you, like one of the things I think are valuable is sometimes we're not clear about what we want. We have the space, you know, let's say there's the empty nest, or some of us are just walking out of our careers, we're done, you know, our jobs, whatever, and then there's the space opens up, right? And it can be very scary to navigate your inner world all by yourself. So I really appreciate what you are doing.
Yeah,
helping,
that's a great point. That's a great point.
Navigate, because sometimes we don't know what we want.
Right.
A lot of us do. We just don't know how to get there.
But it seems like it's a simple question. Like, what do you want for your life? But oftentimes it's not. Because a lot of times we haven't even asked the question, or we'll say something that's wrapped up in should. And we haven't taken the time to say, what is it? What is it here? What is it that you want? Is it connection? Is it creativity? Is it freedom? Is it confidence? Is it love? Is it compassion? And then from that build, okay, so how can I manifest that in the world? What does that look like?
Yes. And
so I think it's an honor. It's an honor for me. It's a complete honor for me to like hold space for that, because it's like everybody's like their own individual book. It's like a book on a shelf, you know, filled with stories and hopes and dreams and fears and all the things. And it's just an honor for me to hold space while that unfolds, you know, because it can be scary. Absolutely.
And speaking of holding space, you have that meetup group, right? Where it's a community where like-minded, or, you know, people that are searching for that same, transition or clarification or support community. And you offer that as I guess that's a free to join.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
So I want our listeners and anybody that's viewing this to know, and I will put this link in the comments and in the show notes, so that if you are somebody that's in the middle of transitions or going through midlife issues and you're just looking for a safe place for support, I really, really highly recommend Sharon's group. It's multifaceted. There's a lot of different topics that get discussed and a lot of teachings. It's good stuff. And it's
Thank
free
you
to
so
join.
much.
So yeah, I'm very happy because wellness, there's somebody said this, wellness begins with we, right?
Yes.
And
The
somebody
community
else
piece
said,
is so important. Yeah.
yeah, illness begins with I.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I've never heard that before.
I've seen it
That's
doing the rounds
great.
on Facebook. So somebody must have said it and then it became like a meme.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. I think especially at this time in our lives, the
Mhm.
community piece is because we can't do this alone.
No.
I was brought up on to think that being strong and doing it on your own was aspirational. And now I realize that, no, that I need you, right? And I need community around me to support me in living this life, because it's can be really challenging to be a human.
Yes, I think so. And I think community helps you to get out of your own head sometimes.
Yeah,
Because we can get in there and get so wrapped up. So
absolutely.
that's a nice place to release. I really appreciate that you have that space and that you hold that space, Sharon.
Yeah, thank you.
And I could talk to you forever and ever about everything you do, but I'm going to ask you to give us like one thing that we can that challenges us, that we can practice to take that one step, towards what we want, like, or a transformation that we're seeking.
Yeah.
Something
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. So there's so much I could offer, but one simple thing that I invite you to do this week is to practice mindfulness for just 5 minutes a day. And it could be, formal practice, whether you're sitting or walking. Formal practice is really important. But I'm a huge advocate of informal mindfulness practice, paying attention to the water when you're washing the dishes, or paying attention to the texture of the fabric when you're folding the clothes. So my invitation is to find time to at least say with intention that I'm going to practice mindfulness for 5 minutes. And if you need, there's an awesome app called Insight Timer, and it's a free meditation app. They have all kinds of guided meditations. They have 5-minute ones for anxiety or stress or sleep. They have 10-minute ones, 20, 30, whatever. But you can use that app, or really just simply say, take a shower and just notice the water as it falls on your skin. So really, again, the practice is simply about intentionally paying attention to the present moment. And the anchor is a really good, the breath is a really good anchor to anchor you to the present moment. So just say for 5 minutes, I'm just going to notice my breath. I'm going to sit or shower or whatever, and I'm going to notice my breath. I'm going to notice how it feels as it goes through my nose, down my throat, and just practice for 5 minutes. And it may not seem like a big deal, but it's kind of like compound interest.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my nieces and nephews, I say, look, you need to be saving $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 now. I know it seems like not a big deal, but over time, the compounding effect of that is huge. So 5 minutes a day may not seem like a big deal. And 5 minutes a day is so much more valuable than 20 minutes twice a week. But 5 minutes a day will compound, and all of a sudden you'll start to realize, oh, there's a little bit more space. I feel a little bit more spacious. I feel a little bit more calm.
Yeah.
So that's my challenge. 5 minutes a day, mindfulness practice. Go for it. And no judgment. Remember, no judgment. No judgment.
I just judged myself. I was hearing you speak and I thought, when was the last time I even felt what my laundry felt like? And, I fold it all the time, but I don't recall feeling it.
Yes.
So thank you, Sharon. I am going to take this to heart this week.
Fantastic.
Bet I'll be feeling all those clothes.
Yeah. Very cool. I love it.
Oh my goodness. And don't you have another program that's coming up for you? Something?
Yes. So I have a a 3-month coaching program. It's called Women Thriving in Midlife. And it starts on Monday, and it includes content. So there's videos and audios and worksheets that I release every week. So it includes content, and then there's coaching. So there's group coaching, live group coaching via Zoom every other Monday night. And then there's community, and there's like a discussion forum built into the portal. The platform that I'm using is called Thinkific. So I wanted to find a platform that was separate from Facebook. Yeah. Facebook is great. I love Facebook groups, but for sometimes the intimate kind of stuff that people work with, you know, the nitty gritty, they may not want to have that on Facebook. So I wanted to have a space where folks can communicate with themselves and with me, with some privacy. So that starts on Monday. If you can find out more information at listentoyourlifeschool.com. And
I'll share that link.
Yeah, I'd love to have you there. It's my intention is to keep it small. Right now we have 8 people registered. My max is 10. So there's 2 spots available. So if you're interested, just let me know. I'd love to have you.
Thank you so much, Sharon. And so we can find you at listentoyourlife.com. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And I'll put your email also in the notes. I am so glad we got this opportunity to have this fun conversation.
I always love talking to you, Pooja. I love the work you're doing in the world.
Thank you, Sharon. I love your work too. We all doing the same thing in different ways, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, Sharon. And everybody, I hope you have gained a lot from this conversation, just like I have learned a lot today from Sharon. And until next time, be well.